excited. This is actually my first red carpet premiere for a film I've been in because I haven't been able to attend other ones. And it's a big deal because it's Star Trek, which was filmed in my home city of Toronto, but we're in New York. I mean, it's so cool. What can I say? Yeah. I know. I mean, so when I started acting back in 2018, one of my very first movies was Casey role. And we kind of played this like frenemies that had to kill this like giant warthog because it was killing all of our friends. You know, casual. Yeah. Yeah. Amazing. I was in the production office, and when you're there, you know, doing like your clearing, like you're signing contracts and all that, there's a wall of headshots. And I instantly recognized like 3 people, and Casey was one of them. And I instantly took a selfie with it and sent it, and in all caps, I was like, oh my God, we get to work together again, and you're freaking Garrett. Like, it was just unreal. I was so proud of her, and it just makes you feel like the world is so small. It's a big, giant world, but really, when you do projects like this, and as an artist, like, you do get to work with great people, but to work with them again, special. It's always the behind the scenes. I will tell you that, because working, fun. You know, fun, we get to improvise and all of that, but there's so many in between scenes where like we're yelling cut, we're waiting for them to set up the next shot, and we're all just there in cool outfits, in cool hair and makeup. I remember this one time, Omari got a radio, and he started playing music, and we all started having a dance competition, and I have footage of all of it. We all gave our best moves, and it was so fun. I was like, I love all these humans. And those moments in between, honestly, they'll live on forever, because yes, we have the movie immortalized forever and we get to see ourselves, but the memories attached to them are something that the audience will never see, but we get to, you know, always remember them, and it's so special. There's a group chat. It's still going strong. 1 year later, we're always like, happy birthday, look at this funny meme, like, yo, are we excited for press? Like, it's cool to have that. It is so much fun to see a film that is so like quick action humor, and I think what makes it special is every single person that was cast really plays their role so well. We are surrounded by excellence, obviously being led by our queen Michelle Yeoh. She's so playful, she took risks, she really made us feel like a part of the family right away, so that really made it easy for the rest of the movie to take place. So I miss it. Take me back. Yes. A little sequel moment? Why not? Yeah. Spoilers? How dare you? How dare you? There's no spoilers. Enjoy it. Be patient. Be patient. That's a lot. I mean, to my cast and crew, I'm just so grateful that you said yes to me and that I get to work with you guys, and I hope that we are friends forever and ever and ever. And to the fans, I mean, I'm just so honored to be a Deltan and bring that back. You know, we haven't seen a lot of us in the universe, so I hope that you enjoy my rendition of a Deltan.
Unreal, unreal. Like I was just saying, you know, being in the Star Trek universe has been such an unbelievable dream come true. For a Trekkie to then be able to do this, it's you know, it's crazy. I'm seeing so many people that are geeked out over, and then to be a part of it, there's nothing like, there aren't words to describe it. And then to do it with these people, what a special cast. Every last person in this cast and crew, like, there's nothing about it that wasn't a dreamlike experience for me. And so, like I was saying to somebody else, I wish it never ended. I'd be on this job right now if I could. You know, it's really funny, because I think what we did with Section 31 was go in a very different way than a lot of Star Treks, right? Because a lot of Star Treks start with the premise of, you know, a Federation starship, right? Mostly the Enterprise, but, you know, and then going on that continuous journey of exploration and discovery, right? And here we kind of like flip it a little bit about like, well, what are the kinds of things that Starfleet gets done, but not under the guise of Starfleet, where the prime directive is not necessarily their prime directive, right, in Section 31, right? And it's sort of kind of like, what's the dirty work that has to happen sometimes in order to hold a very, very, very tenuous peace, you know, and the questions about that, right? I mean, first and foremost, Star Trek is always asking us about what the right thing is. The debate about what the right thing to do is, which is really relevant, I think, at all times, but especially where we are right now. And we do that in spades. We do it with fun. We do it with, you know, some lightheartedness and humor here. But at the end of the day, that is still what we're doing, and that is something that every Star Trek fan should be able to connect to. Because, like, what line do we cross? What line is acceptable to cross? You know, do the ends justify the means? When do they? When do they not? I think that's inherent in everything that's Star Trek, and that's definitely us as well. Because you know, how far are you willing to push the envelope to get what you think is a good done, and the price that you pay, is it worth it?
It's incredible. It was a lot of work. It was a lot of hard work, a lot of uncertainty, and you really don't know what's going to happen because, like, the publicity and is all different than the final thing. Like I remember seeing the trailers, and I have seen the screener, and I'm like, oh, it's not the same. It's not the same thing at all. There's like a whole level of darkness and humor that I certainly didn't expect working on it. For me, we hit the ground running. First day of shooting, all my scenes were with Michelle. So 𝗗𝗟𝗏𝗦 and Georgiou are like a thing. The first day we hit the ground running, it was like an interrogation scene we had, and it was like really intense. And we kind of came up with some business on the day where I get hit by Michelle, and they're like, "Are you okay with that?" I'm like, "Yes, I'm okay. Please." And if she could kick me, that would also be really good. If we could get a kick in there. Hold on, excuse me for a second. So, yeah. True story though. They came up with it on the day, and they're like, "Do you mind if we had a?" And I'm like, "Yes, please, more." I'm a character actor. When Star Trek came across my purview, I was like, "Yeah, right." I'm like, "Sure, okay." And I have no clue how, like, I connected with the material because 𝗗𝗏𝗏𝗏 represents like how the colonies have like kind of extracted everything they can from their galaxy, from their worlds, and they have to go elsewhere. I don't want to give any spoilers. They have to go elsewhere to retrieve it, and he's aware of that, and he's aware of that dystopian kind of like mechanism of how the universe is run, and so, you know, I don't even remember what your question was. But it's a really, what drew me to the part. So, like, I'm a character actor. So when something like this comes your way, you honestly are like, there's no way, but you try and you put yourself out there. And I got a great response from them, and we had several meetings where we were like shaping the character, and we did everything. We did every which way you could imagine, and I didn't. You know, when they cast me, then it was amazing because we had months and months to prep. So I really got him into me, but I hadn't seen the prosthetic yet. I truly only saw the prosthetic. Tunde sent me a text about 30 days before we went to camera, and it was so trippy. Because it kind of looks like me, but kind of doesn't. And then I'm like, oh my God, do I need to relearn everything? Well, but you know, as soon as we did the test, as soon as we put it on, it was like magic. It's like it's a little bit of madness. Like, you put it on and you're just a different person. And there's not a whole lot of acting required because you're like, it informs your actions and your behavior. That kind of get up. And just going back to the punch, when Michelle punches me, and then Alok grabs me and he punches me. The rig and the FX, because there's an iPod Nano here, and there's all these lights that are controlled by Wi-Fi and stuff, or by Bluetooth, and they were starting to malfunction, and you know, so it was just like a real cluster, but it was amazing. If I could just do it all over again, I'd keep doing that all over again. It's so much fun, and there's so much creativity. Those sets and the FX are just like this world, yeah.
We're feeling so good. Feeling so excited. Feeling ready to birth our little space baby into the world. Can't wait. I mean, we really lucked out. We got a bunch of actors in a room and we all love each other. That's rare and incredible. But truly, these are some of my best buds. You know, we have an active chat going a year later, and I just love them. I think, you know, what drew me to this was being able to join the legacy of Trek. Some of the firsts that Trek has been a part of were really, really exciting to me. And I think joining this franchise as a strong woman was very, very important to me. So that was amazing. Yeah, I think there's many things that fans of Trek are going to get into. I think some of the folks we have kicking around you might recognize. Maybe we've only seen them a couple times, maybe once, you know. But I think knowing that they are there is very cool. We've sprinkled some things in that are definitely going to excite fans of Trek, and then, you know, fans who are sort of onboarding to Trek right now. I think this film works as a wonderful bridge. Well, there's one moment, I won't give too much of it away, but I'm in a somewhat compromising position, and Michelle Yeoh, you know, as Philippa Georgiou, is sort of threatening me and toying with me, and then and then it's sort of revealed, you know, who should actually be in trouble, and that whole little exchange is pretty delicious for me.
Incredible.
Really
Excited.
happy. I feel very happy. Like when we're around our Star Trek family members, it just feels good. You know, we all have shared experiences, and we know what it's like to be in this world, and it's a good job. It's a good job.
We're very, very lucky to work with the people that we work with. I think we're incredibly fortunate to be able to go to all these different sort of events and see family there. It feels really good. It feels like home. You see people who you haven't seen in a few months, and it's like catching up all over again. And we have something to celebrate, so it's nice to see people you love when you're celebrating something you're excited about. Ooh, I hate to sound like a broken record, but it's exciting. It's just really exciting. I think Star Trek means so much to so many fans, and to see as many iterations as possible for fans to really get excited about and soak themselves into, it's exciting. I look forward to what the fans will think.
While we were filming season 3, they were filming section 31, so that's also like it's a cool feeling on set. Like it kind of energizes you and.
Energizes you say?
It does. And did I just do that? I just did. It energizes. Yes,
incredible. Good catch.
Intended. But just to know that, like you said, like it's expanding. Like the fans have more to look forward to, and especially like with our show, where we've been waiting a bit for the release of season 3. Like we speak with fans all the time. Like the fans are a very big part of all of Star Trek, and especially our show. And they've been looking forward to this movie. And just to know that everyone's here in New York celebrating it with us, and we didn't have to travel very far.
No,
I appreciate that. Yes.
No, actually.
Of the world as actors. So I would say I've told this story probably a bunch, but it was being on the bridge, and everybody being like, ooh, we're on the bridge, and all I could do was panic and say, how do you fly this ship? And so most of my on-set life is on that bridge, and it obviously is a big part of my character. But for me, the bridge doesn't get old. The bridge is still like the coolest thing, and being on there and being with my cast, my crew, and then also being on it with Jonathan Frakes. That was also a big moment of like, ooh, cool. Worlds colliding. So there you go. I gave you some time.
No, I was going to agree with you. I was going to say the bridge is an iconic set. I remember my first day on set was a bridge day. And just walking into a space as somebody who has never worked in the Star Trek universe before, and knowing the weight of how iconic that space is, and still being surrounded by people who trust in you, who believe in you, who support you, who know so much more than you do. So it's really easy to ask questions like, how do I fly this thing? Which button does what? And being able to establish canon. I mean, Strange New Worlds is a prequel, and so everything we do predates the stuff before the original series. And so to establish canon and doing it with people who are so incredibly talented and so excited and so like devoted to what we want to do, that's the most exciting part, is to go into work every day and know that you're surrounded by people who know how important it is to do a show like this and to be in a part of something like Star Trek.
Like we're honoring the franchise and also always adding to it, and that's just a really special, cool thing that
I couldn't have asked for a better role, a better crew. I'm not just saying that because she's here. It's true.
No, I mean, listen, I'm obsessed
We
with you.
we
You know
insisted
that.
on doing all our interviews together.
We have to do them
So,
together.
yeah,
There's no way we do it separately. This is my emotional support
better
person.
with Celia. That's what I say.
Everything's better with
Yes.
sentences. Absolutely. Absolutely. It's the New Yorker in us, it's the theater in us, it's the Trek in us. Absolutely.
Great. I mean, this is like a dream come true. I've been wanting to do this for so long. Even before Star Trek Discovery was launched, I went to Alex Kurtzman and said, gotta do the spin-off, gotta do Philippa Georgiou. This is one of the most intriguing and sophisticated character who is in the dark, in the light, and you never know whether she's coming or going or whether she's gonna cut your legs off. Oh my God, you just saw them. They are unbelievable, starting with Omari and then Sam Richardson and Robert, Sven from South Africa. They were like a really little United Nations there because they came from all around the world, globally, and humbly. It was really, really fun to come together with a completely new cast, a new lot of misfits, and see how we all can bond or not. Or we end up killing each other instead of other people. But the fun that we had on set, because Tunde, he really encouraged most of us. Some of them, some like Sam in particular, like Sven, like Rob, like every one of them, Casey, they're very good at improv. They're very good at surprising you with, and I'm like old school. Okay, hang on guys, I do by the book, okay, whatever my writers tell me, that's what I'm doing. So I stand there in awe and give them dirty looks. Of course, he's not going to just have the fun making us do things. No, we made him do things as well.
It's surreal to be here, really. Whoa! Makes me emotional, honestly. It's such an honor and a privilege to be here tonight celebrating the Star Trek legacy and the legacy of Michelle Yeoh. So it's beyond surreal. I did get to meet her on set. Yeah, I got to meet her on set, and she was so lovely, and she brought such an amazing energy to set. She's very, on set of Section 31, it's very family-oriented, and it was just such a pleasure. I cried in front of her multiple times because I was just like, you're iconic. Honestly, all of it, but also I've known 𝗗𝗓𝗨𝗦, who plays Mel, prior to filming, and the first time that we ever met, we were like, one day we'll work together, and then so finding out that we both got a part in Section 31 was such a wonderful surprise, and it's just such a blessing, honestly. It's full circle, completely. I saw her right before I came on the carpet, and we held hands, and we just started jumping like, oh my gosh! It's emotional, because it's a journey. It's a journey, and it's just, Star Trek is such an incredible legacy, and to be a part of something that is so loved and so adored, it's very sentimental. It really is. Oh, well, you have to see, but it's action-packed. It's heartfelt, and it has some great comedic moments, to be honest. I'm gonna keep my lips sealed on the camera, but I mean, it's really amazing because we've never seen Philippa Georgiou younger, so it's kind of a glimpse into her origin story without saying too much. But it's amazing because we've never seen that in the Star Trek universe before for Philippa, so it's just an incredible honor. How are you?
I'm feeling good, man. It's exciting to finally get it out there.
Did you take a second to take it all in yet?
No, I think that'll happen when I go up on stage to introduce the movie. That's when it'll become real. I'm looking out at all those people and understanding there's a multiplier effect of all the other people that are going to be watching it around the world. It was very refreshing. We spent a lot of many good years on Discovery with Michelle Yeoh, with Sonequa Martin Green, and then also transitioning Michelle Yeoh's character, Philippa Georgiou, out of Discovery in season 3, and then having several year gap, which was unanticipated due to circumstances out of our control, only to land now in 31 and and really get to work on that character and get to know the Philippa Georgiou, the Michelle Yeoh character a lot more. It makes it sweeter because of the amount of time it took to get there. And, you know, we enjoyed the ride, and now I'm hoping the rest of the world enjoys it too. I think the operating word is fun. They can look to experience an outrageous roller coaster ride. But particularly if, you know, let's say you come in and you don't know anything about Trek, you're still going to have that experience. Now, if you know a lot more about Trek, and let's say you know about Discovery, and you just know about Trek going all the way back to TOS, and in particular Deep Space Nine, Inquisition, then now you have even a richer experience, and you can enjoy the movie from that point of view as well, or argue about the movie. You know, we as fans love to do both. Well, it was a riot working with them. You know, like they are all individuals that are very unique and a lot of fun to hang around. You know, you instantly want them to be your friend. You know, and that translated into the movie, and I think you can see that they had a lot of fun being together. But yeah, they all stay in contact up till now. We finished shooting over a year ago, and you can really see that movie and the experience on set with all of them planted the seeds for an everlasting relationship. So it was very nice. Oh, ooh, there's a lot of them. Boy, okay, I guess if I had to choose my favorite moment, it would probably be, don't tell her I said this, but it would be when Michelle Yeoh secretly forced me to appear in the movie. Okay, so I'm a behind the camera guy, but, and she said, okay, I want you to be background in the Brahm fight. And I said, oh, I don't know, I want to be background in the Brahm fight. I'm comfortable just directing. Then she went and secretly spoke to costumes, hair, makeup, and set it all up. So when I was on set, suddenly I'm having hair being put on me, and I have a costume and a black little tent right next to my director's chair, and glitter being put on my face, and wearing really, really high heels, these boots, and I'm in there. So that secretly I enjoyed it because it was fun seeing the reaction of the rest of the crew. Like, it's in the Brahm fight. I won't tell you where. It's the phase fight, but I think it's an Easter egg for the fans to look at.
I feel good, man. You know what I did was after the 70 or so interviews that I had earlier today, I sat in the sauna for a minute, which could have depleted some energy, but it did give me enough to be back at you, to be super conscious, to understand your question, and to say that what's underrated is feeling cool, feeling liked, not just loved, but also feeling happy. And I feel happy, bro. Just second to none. And it's hard for me to say, because as you know, it's a 20-plus year career, and I've had some amazing castmates in this beautiful New York, as you know, having worked on a massive or a small show, whatever you want to make, I make it massive. But yeah, it's an amazing reality to be able to come on set and by maybe day 3 to have everybody's not just name down, but their birthdays down, maybe charge it to my photographic memory, but then to learn who they are as people. We jumped in that rapport bath and came out having hellified chemistry. All of us individually have our own conversations, and then collectively we all benefited from that. Pretty amazing, bro. I love these guys. The threads are still happening. The big beam me up, Scotty, it's how you be knowing? Because of that thing, right? The thing. That part.
That's beautiful.
I appreciate you, man. It just feels like not only Alex Kurtzman and Tunde and Michelle asked me to join, but equally Avery Brooks and LeVar Burton said, come hang out. Nichelle Nichols said, come hang out. Persis, right? Woman of color equally, who, of course, displayed with William Shatner the first interracial kiss that we ever saw on screen. It feels like they all knocked on the door, and I said, okay, pretty amazing.
Very excited. I'm a big Star Trek nerd, so I'm excited to see this. It sounds really cool, and I love her too. So it's like, but I'm very excited. I love the whole thing. Well, I'm a big fan of the show since I was a little kid, and the villains. I'm a real villain in it. The villains are some of the best things about it. So actually, for me to be a Star Trek bad guy was even better. then that was a bonus. Yes, for sure. No, it's literally something that I can't kind of believe I'm doing it. It was sort of literally a dream come true. I mean, it's the kind of thing. It's a childhood wish fulfillment, and it's a thing I watched with my father when he was still around years ago, and it's like, so it's all of that kind of nostalgic thing. I mean, it's a deep, deep thing. No, just, I was great seeing Michelle and seeing all these wonderful Alex Kurtzman and the director, Tunde, and everybody. I'm looking forward to it.
I feel sad, man. Like, Star Trek's my thing. It's been my thing my whole life, and this was a really special experience for me. Like, this crew and this cast that came together, it blended in a way that I've never seen before, and it was such a joy every single day. It didn't matter how hard it was every day. It didn't matter how long we were shooting. It didn't matter how uncomfortable we were in the suits or shooting in the freezing cold. It was just every day waking up and just skipping on my way to work because I was part of Star Trek. Like, it was such a joy, and here we are. And we're near the end of this process, and you know, you're hoping and praying that people will love watching this as much as we love making it, and that we get to do this again and do it many times. But right now there is this sweet sadness of going, this is the final chapter of this chapter, you know, and I hope there's another book. Nah, look, I think the reality is, you know, I've been part of the Star Trek fandom since I was a child. I know how things go. They hated The Next Generation when it came out, and now it's everyone's favorite. They hated Voyager. They were offended that there was a black Vulcan. They were offended by a female captain. They hated DS9. They had problems with Avery Brooks and Major Kira. They were offended by Kelvin Universe, and they hated it. When you start, we know that people are going to be like, this isn't my Trek. But the thing that I've been saying all along is Trek isn't for you. Trek is for everyone. And there may not be, you may not like DS9, you might not like Voyager, you might not like TOS, you might not like Section 31, but you don't gatekeep it from the other people who do. And we are making a Trek for other people, for new people, to bring new audiences in. And I guarantee you that if you give it a chance, even if you're a hardcore Trekker like me, if you're really, really into it and you give this a shot, you will love this as much as we love making it. Trek has always been a small fandom. It ain't Star Wars. It ain't Harry Potter. It doesn't have the millions and millions and millions of people around the world. It's a small, really passionate, really, really passionate fan base. But I speak to kids these days and they don't know what it is. They don't know what Star Trek is. And I find that to be the saddest thing in the world, because for me, the more people that watch Star Trek, the better the world gets. You know, it teaches you about morality. It teaches you about kindness. It teaches you about non-judgment. And so for me, what they should expect if you're coming to watch this is you should expect, if you know Trek, this is still Trek. But understand that we're also making something new, something fresh, something to try and bring new people in and then be able to go to them, hey, if you like Section 31, here's TNG. You know, here's disco, here's all these other things. It's an intimidating thing, Star Trek. There's so much of it. And if we can get a whole new audience to come in with this film, and then we share the love that we have and that moral imperative, that prime directive of what Star Trek should be, we will make the world a better place just by doing that. On my first day on set, which was the second day of shooting, we're on the Section 31 spaceship, and I've always wanted to be on a starship. And I'm sitting up there pressing boop, 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 boop buttons and pretending I'm in space. You know, there's black drapes with the lights on it, and you're looking out and going, oh, it's fake space. And just having a moment within myself, just really going, wow, I cannot believe I'm filming I can't believe I'm in Star Trek. Like, head blown. And I look over to my left, and Sam Richardson is going, beep, 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 beep. And Liz up there going like this. And we just look at each other, and we just went, because this show is being made by people who wanted to be there, man. From Tunde, from Michelle, from Kurtzman down, it's people that love Star Trek. And from the moment I got on set, I felt so encouraged that I was surrounded by people who held it in the same level of importance that I do. Well, it's not really, we were all staying in the same hotel in Canada, and so it's called Beam Me Up Soho, which is where we were staying. And it is a varied and interesting group chat that shall never be released to public eyes.
How are you feeling tonight? I feel great. I feel very happy for everybody. I feel like, I don't know, it's a sense of celebration. It's poetic. It's a full circle moment. I'm feeling a lot of things. Yeah, man. man. Surreal. It feels surreal. That's what I've been talking about. You know, you have this sense of pride, also just this sense of wonder and fascination, and then celebration, like I was saying, because I'm so proud of everybody. I'm so proud of Tunde and Michelle Yeoh and Alex, Kurtzman, and the rest of the cast as well, because we talked a lot when we were doing Discovery about how this is only for a time, and then we're going to pass it on, and someone else is going to have to take care of this heirloom. And now here they have, and it's really beautiful to be here, and it's really, I don't know, it's kind of wild. It's kind of wild. It's kind of wild. Yes! No, I'm super excited to see, you know what, of course I'm excited to see Michelle. I'm excited to just see the totality of Tunde's work, and, and the writers as well, Craig Sweeny and the rest of them. But I'm also excited to see how this cast relates to each other. I'm really excited to see that synergy. Oh man, I love y'all. I love y'all. Congratulations. You're beautiful. I know you've done beautiful work, and I know you've done your part to take care of this heirloom that is the franchise. So, I love you. I think my favorite part of being a part of this is the constant reminder of how impactful storytelling can be. Because we know that, we say that, we're like, oh yeah, stories change lives. But being a part of this, franchise, you get to see it for real. It's like, oh, okay, let me show you that this is true. Let me show you these people who say their lives will never be the same again. Allow me, and I guess suppose this is God talking, this is Jesus talking. Allow me to introduce you to people who are not the same because of this franchise, the stories, and because of you and your work, right? Let me show you my glory real quick. That's my favorite part, I think.
Excited, overwhelmed, and held, deeply held. Yeah. I think the character that I play and being able to step in on the sets that we had and the joy of being able to be on a functional set, things that move and beep and fly, like that for me was the joy of being like a kid again. Yeah, I get to be a small blip, and I think the hope is that when you expand something, there's a lot of fear, there's a lot of trepidation, there's a lot of unknown, there's a lot of new, and people get scared about change, and I can appreciate that because this is something that is iconic. That is, I mean, it's informed culture for decades. So being able to be a part of that, being able to be a small part of that, I hope that it continues to bring joy to people, hope to people, no matter where we are. The darkest part of the galaxy, light still prevails. Do I have any moments that are my favorite? I mean, so many. I think the big thing that I take away from this is like, we are a family, both on and off screen. Like, we spend so much time together, and I've worked a lot with a lot of cast, and there is something special about this. We went to do karaoke, we had dinners together, we had parties together, we watched the Oscars together. So like, the point is, we spent time off screen. And I think it translates to this film. So my biggest memory is that of spending time with your family. Oh man, there is a big group chat, and it is busy. There are GIFs and music videos being sent, and pictures of our kids and family, like, absolutely, absolutely. Yes, I think the twist that you're about to see and find out is probably, for me as an actor, one of the great joys to be able to play.
I mean, it's a second golden age of Trek, and I couldn't be more proud to be a part of it and to be here to support my friend and an inspiration to me, Michelle Yeoh, who's part of our family on Discovery, and kind of reinvented I don't want to call it a villain because she's so complex, but a person who challenges us. I think for me, I would be remiss if I didn't say how we expanded the universe, how we also expanded the universe within the show, right? Inclusivity of LGBTQ people and having them be a part of the story, of the team that actually solves our problems and saves the galaxy. There's something to be said about the empowerment that sends, that message of empowerment that sends to people, especially in this moment. I mean, I saw the trailer because I did present the movie at Upfront, so I saw, you know, a little sneak peek. It looks great. And you know, Olatunde, who is our director, our producing director in Toronto on Discovery, is our director here in this movie, and so I'm very proud of his work as well. And so much of our crew on Discovery worked on this movie.